council meeting. Ms. Orozco, would you be so kind as to lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please?
Salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mary, do we please have roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Silva,
Present.
Councilmember Scott Funk,
Present.
Councilmember Lorraine Murphy,
Present.
Councilmember Mario Rosas.
Present.
And Mayor Jose Rios.
Present. First on the agenda is recognizing our Gonzalez High School girls soccer team. So, Mary, will you join me at the podium?
So we have certificates of recognition to the Gonzalez High School girls soccer team. On behalf of the City Council of the City of Gonzalez, we proudly present the certificate in recognition of your outstanding dedication and performance during the 2025-2026 season. Congratulations on your vital role as a PCAL Cypress Division League champion. Your hard work and commitment have set a high standard of excellence for your school, family, and community. Once again, congratulations and go Spartans. And we have Alitzel Mauro. Okay. Yes. Aliana Cuevas. Andrea Amador. Ariana Arriola. Dulce Ortiz. She's coming. Yeah, she's coming right here. Right here. Fernanda Cisneros. Isabela Camargo. She's coming.
Where's the step? Watch the step.
Italia Hernández Valdés. Isabela Mandojano. Janelle Garcia. She's here. Take it. Jennifer Fajardo. Laisha Lorenzo Amador. I don't think she's here. Maria Rosales. Marianne Camarena.
Maybe they're playing.
Not here. Naomi Flores. No. Natalia Valdez. Vivian Uribe. Jimena Uribe. And Zahaira Vega. Oh, she's not here. Yes, and then we have Coach Jose Tejeda. Assistant Coach Jose Ochoa. And Assistant Coach Alessandra Tejeda.
Coach, would you like to say a few words to that? Have the girls go up to the side so they take pictures.
Okay, well, we would like to sincerely thank you to the city of Gonzales for recognizing the hard work and dedication to our Lady Spartans as they become back-to-back champions. Your support means so much for our team, coaches, and families. Girls, remember that being champions is never easy. It takes a lot of discipline, sacrifice, and heart. But becoming back-to-back champions, that's even greater. It represents consistency, determination, and a commitment of excellence that goes beyond one season. I would like to personally thank my assistant coaches, Jose Ochoa and Alessandra Tejeda, for the dedication, leadership, and countless hours of work behind the scenes. This achievement would not have been possible without your commitment to these wonderful girls. Lastly, to my family, always being part of everything regarding the team, being in a snack bar, a lot of fundraising, to all the parents also donating all that good stuff to the snack bar and fundraising. But yeah, and again, thank you to the city of Gonzales. Thank you.
No. Thank you.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, coming around. So I go real slow.
I feel taller up here. Yeah, really, congratulations. Very good, congratulations. Congratulations, girls. Do the girls know the school song? Uh-oh. I'm gonna put you guys to the test. Let's see. Yeah, right? I gotta find the short girls.
I'm sorry?
You had everyone?
Yeah, but I think you guys are covering the ones in the back, so if you guys wanna come to over here on this side?
It's all bunched up over there.
Yeah, there.
If ever Reese.
Yeah, I
is
can
here,
see
she
you
can
this
make
and
sure
right. I can
it's
see
this
everybody.
way.
And
All
Maria.
balanced.
Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but that's a good coach in the audience. There you go. Congratulations, ladies. Take it to the kids.
Sorry, sir. We'll see. We'll see.
This is a whole fashion. No screen touching.
All right, next up on the agenda is a report out from the Boys Girls Club on the community center activities.
Yes, through the mayor. Today we have Jose Moran from the Boys and Girls Club, as well as recreation staff, Jessica Almedo Albor and Julie Douglas. We'll be talking about all the things that are happening at the community center. We're a month and a few days in, and with the grand opening of the library last Saturday too, we are sure that attendance is going to just continue to increase. And so they're going to share some of the fun stuff and amazing stuff that's been happening out there. Jose Moran will go ahead and get us started.
Thank you so much. We'd like to thank the council and Mayor Jose Rios for giving us the opportunity to serve the youth of Gonzales. And we started the program, as you know, we started the program in January this year. And we are happy to present to you today a report that is going to take is the last 4 weeks. So last 4 weeks of programming that has happened at the Youth Innovation Center. This is what we have today. So if you want to go into the next. Oh, you want to open?
Okay. So our weekly overview of the programming days, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are Boys and Girls Club, the City of Gonzales staffs Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I would now like to hand it over to our partners, the Boys and Girls Club, for them to talk about their programming and their upcoming plans.
Thank you, Julie. Just to say first, we have been collaborating with Julie on site, and it's been a pleasure to really work with the team, the Gonzales team on site as we started the program. So thank you, Julie. So as you have seen in the last 4 weeks, there is 5 elements that we like to present the report today. As our team constitutes is about 7 members altogether that participate in the program in Gonzales and the Youth Innovation Center. We started with the outreach program to really get the youth know about the program. And some of the efforts and projects that we did for outreach included handing out flyers, starting on the street, and as the high school and the middle school students were coming out of the school, we presented the flyers. We invited the youth to participate in the program. We also table outreach events such as the opening and also at the Gonzales Teen Innovation Center. That has been an ongoing process as we are able to pass the information and the word to the families in Gonzales. We have been making presentations at the high school, and also we're considering to also continue doing those presentations at the high school to increase the knowledge of the community about the program that is now open. Initially, the families were not sure that the center was open because the library was still not open. And so we were able to say, no, we're here, we're open. And so please come in and just sign up. And so that has been going on. We have been also using the Band app to let the youth know about the program, and then working with principal at the Fairview and the middle school and the high school to really make presentations and establish that stronger collaboration. So you go to the next slide. So the current, these are the metrics that we have currently. So in the last 4 weeks, we have had about 110 members coming through the program. And that has been a good number, but we've just still see this is just the beginning. Of the 110 members, we have in person, we have had orientations for the parents. As you know, the Boys and Girls Club's presence and impact happens because the collaboration happens with the parents' knowledge and the parents also buy-in into the program, as well as the youth. So that is a required orientation that we have for the families when they sign up for the Boys and Girls Club. So that way they know what type of program they are signing on, and then that is the expectation in terms of behavior, in terms of expectations and opportunities for the parents. And the orientations happen in Spanish and English for the families. And that has been on site. We have had 4 orientations already in place on site with the families coming in. And sometimes we get 1 family, sometimes we get 10 families coming in and make those orientations on site. And their parents are able to then sign up and fill all the forms that are needed. We have currently enrolled members, 46. members already that we have the complete registration form. Average attendance has been in the last 5 weeks, the average daily attendance comes to 19, and the weekly average attendance is 88. So we see still this is just the beginning of the program to take off as the word is out and the information is out. What we have seen of the 3 days that we provide the programming is usually the highest day is on Thursdays. So Mondays we have an ADA of 11, Wednesdays about an ADA of 15. And then on Thursdays is because we believe it's because of the minimum day of school. That's when we have the greater attendance. So the breakdown in the by grade group is we have, for example, 12th grade, we have 9 members that have come in, 11th grade, 10, 10th grade, about 18s. We have the greater number on the middle school members, and we have seen that as a trend. The middle school members are the ones that are coming in more often. And so this is the 8th graders, we have about 27, 7th grade, about 40, and 6th grade, about 17 that have come through the program. Next slide, thanks. The current programming, this is what we have been able to offer in the first 4 weeks of the program. Guitar class, we have 20 sign up for the guitar class, which is a popular program. We have guitars and the members don't have to bring guitars because we have those on site. The journal club, the drop-in art activities that happen throughout the week, engineering, wood crafting, and we also have a snack every day for the members when they arrive. Usually it's about 3:15. That's when we offer the snack. And on Thursdays, because minimum day is about 1:30, that's when we offer some snacks so they're able to stay throughout until 5:30 or 6. So what we have for future planning as we move forward and really get the numbers up, some of the future programs are establish a teen survey of interest and needs, establish the Smart Moves Emotional is a life skills program that is an ongoing program in the Boys and Girls Clubs. Monthly theme activities such as March, which is the Women's History Month. April is the National Poetry Month. May is the graduation in Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And June is the Graduation Pride Month. Those are themes that we usually use within the Boys and Girls Clubs to establish a theme for each of the month's programming. The Girls Health and Girls Hands Summit is happening already in Salinas, going to happen in Salinas in March, which all the members will be invited to attend that. And we're working on providing transportation so they could actually attend the summit. And it's on a Saturday. It's on March 21st. And that is offered to 12 to 18 girls of age. And this year's theme is Reach for the Stars. Last year's summit, some of the Gonzales youth participated in the summit. And last year's summit, we had about 350 girls attending the summit that happened in the Salinas Club. The next part of the future programming is case management. This, we believe, is one of the core, most impactful services that we can offer, which is a one-on-one monthly meetings with each of the students and establish a profile of interests, needs, and assistance that they might need. And so that is a case management program that we believe is probably the most effective in terms of establishing what every youth needs. And as you know, for the team programming, we have the college and career readiness program that happens. And that is one of the premier programs that we offer at the Boys and Girls Clubs, which we'll be able to offer here in Gonzales. Other activities that will happen will be art activities, air dry clay, sun catchers, and some other activities as well. And that is, do you have any questions?
Good question.
Yes.
What, I would like for us to continue, and then at the end, you guys can ask questions of all the folks who are presenting in
Yes.
case something else comes up.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, council and community members. So now we're going to go ahead and transition off to providing updates regarding the days that the city is at the community center. Next slide, please. So starting off with our current city staff, we have my colleague Julie Douglas that is there Mondays through Fridays. However, she's not there all day. She does also help run our Kid Power after school program. So she's typically there in the mornings. And then once the actual drop-in hours begin, we have a staff member, Carla, that is there on Mondays and Fridays. And then on Saturdays, we have Crystal that is at the community center. And Julie will talk a little bit more about what that programming looks like in the next slide. In terms of outreach efforts and how we've gone about strategizing and making sure that everybody in the community and all the students know about the hours that we're operating, we did go ahead and post flyers via social media. We also did tabling at the grand opening of the community center and also took the time to speak to parents and students. We also put information via our utility bill stuffer and in the city manager report. And we also ordered banners to be displayed on the outside of the community center. We also included information via our city newsletter that goes out once a month. And then we did also reach out to the Fairview Middle School and Gonzales High School to ask if they would allow us to go to the high school during the lunch hour to hand out flyers to students directly and also speak to them. We also asked if they could share the flyer via the parent square. So thank you to our partners at the middle school and high school for allowing us to engage with the students and also share the information via parent square. And then we also engage with the students whenever they drop by the community center. So we like to get their feedback in terms of what they would like to see or what's working for them for us to be able to reassess. And then most recently, we also conducted outreach at the grand opening of the Gonzales Library, which took place this past weekend. They did have close to about 100 community members present. So again, we did take the time to speak to parents and students during that time. And then lastly, in terms of metrics for the Fairview Middle School, we did have about 60 students in attendance, and these are not duplicate numbers. These are the true numbers of attendees that we've had. And for Gonzales High School, we've had 22 students. On average, there's been about 16 students on the days that the community center is open during city hours. Next slide, please. And now I'll go ahead and have Julie talk a little bit about what the current programming and future programming that we have planned looks like.
Thank you, Jessica. Good evening. As for the hours for the city of Gonzales, we program Mondays and Wednesdays from 3 to 6 and Saturdays from 10 to 1. But on Saturdays, it seems to have needed to be expanded sometimes. So if kids are working on homework, we do stay a little bit longer to help them because we didn't realize Saturday school is still being attended to. So we've been staying till about 1:30, 1:45 to help the children who needed some more help with homework. We also just finished holding our first GYC meeting this past Thursday, where they met with Supervisor Lopez and talked about their future plans. And that was really nice to see them at the community center and showing him around and showing all their pride that they had. We also are going to this Friday host a planning meeting for their South County Youth Summit. And that's where they will meet to continue to plan. At the end of January, we held the Greenfield Science Workshop Bike Repair, where it's their annual. They come to Gonzales every year and they help the kids and the community repair bikes. They also donate a lot of bikes. So they did come at the end of January and used our parking lot to hold it. And it was a really good turnout. We also, at the beginning of February, we had the Live Well project to do a Zumba night on a Tuesday, and they had over, I think, 30 participants. So it was really a really great turnout. As for future planning, the students for tutoring, we would like to have hours that will be set and advertised for some tutoring for the students. So that if they need specific help on things, my staff or myself can help them. We're also going to try to collaborate with the USC of Santa Cruz and Hartnell for college and readiness prep. I'm also pairing up with Miss Castro's class. They will start coming every Tuesday or Friday or both, depending on how they would like to see that. They don't get the opportunity to maybe come to the community center, so they will be coming during the school hours and they will partner with me. They're going to actually come tomorrow. They're going to make their lunches and have a picnic, and then they're going to play and use the stuff at the facility tomorrow afternoon. So I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to pair up with them. We also are going to have an opportunity to pair up with Gonzales High School with their detention program. And we also said that we would take a list and they would pair up with us so the children can come to us for help, and they would get credit for an hour of being with us at their attendance. So we would be partnering with them. We will also be partnering with Wings of Knowledge. They too said that they will start coming tomorrow to do some STEM with some of the 8th graders and open it up to the other youth or the other teens. And then doing the outreach with these kids, their future planning is they would like to have gaming competitions, podcasting. They have written, Carmen and I talked to them the other night, and they had written all kinds of ideas down of what they would like to see at the community center. So I'm going to continue to reach out to these youth and talk to them and see what else they would like for our future planning. And then you needed to.
And then before we jump into the questions, I did also want to add that the city received funding via the Nancy Buck Ransom Foundation grant in the fall for $15,000. So a lot of that has helped support some of the purchases for the community center, and we do continue to look for grants to be able to continue to support the programming at the center. Thank you.
Thank you.
And through the mayor, I'd also like to make an announcement. AT&T just awarded us from their Birdies for Students program another $30,000 to help provide technology to the center. So
Fantastic.
they just let me know on Friday that it's a done deal. So that'll help us purchase other equipment and podcasting equipment, et cetera. So,
Awesome.
okay.
Awesome.
Now the team would like to take some questions if you have any. And I think I saw one.
Okay.
on-
Mr. Orozco, do you have questions? We'll start with Mr. Orozco.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Mr. Funk?
Yeah, great updates from both Boys and Girls Club and city staff. Question on the tutoring services. Do you need tutors, or do you have tutors to offer tutoring?
I would take tutors. Yes, I do have somebody in mind to help us and my staff as well. But if people need hours, or if they are wanting to help us, that I'm open to having help us tutors.
I will pass the word along. Thank you.
So,
Great work, everyone. I had the opportunity to speak with Jose at the library on Saturday, because I had seen on one of the city social media posts, guitars. And he tells me it's quite a few students. So I said, wow, that's pretty cool. I want to hear like a concert by them.
that's the theater.
Then I went way out there and I said, maybe we can even teach some of them how to play the violin and eventually play mariachi music, which is music to my ears and my heart. Great job, everyone. I think these are great opportunities. Kind of like what Scott said, if you need help for tutoring, there's a couple of subjects I might be able to help out with. And I'd be happy to do that. So I'm excited for the youth of our town. I'm excited for all of you as well. Great job.
We're hoping to have at the end of the program, we'll happen to have a performance from the guitar class. So
Awesome.
you'll be
Great.
invited to
Awesome. Ms. Worthy?
Great job, everyone. I was wondering if you had thought about in the future, doing some type of programming for, in the technical, in the fields of electricians and plumbers and that sort of thing. Because that's something that I think that everybody's been talking about a lot more now, of how we need the trades also. And so it might be kind of nice to have some local people come in and talk to the students about, you know, I mean, plumbers make a lot of money, electricians make a lot of money. I mean, they make a lot more money than corporate bigwigs do. So I don't know, I was just thinking that might be a good way to look in the future.
Our career in college readiness program will include those workshops presented by trade schools or career in college. And so this will be part of that package.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Okay,
There will
thank
be
you.
presentations.
Good to know. Thank you. Very good. Really exciting to see the future and where we're headed. Thank you very much.
And thank you to the three of you. That's a great job. I mean, it sounds like we have taken off and are running at a pretty good pace. So I thank you again for all your time, effort, and services. Hope to hear at a later update, maybe at the end of the year, we can get an update as to how you saw it go this year and what else the council could do to help encourage and maybe even get some Measure K funding. I don't know. It's all sorts of thoughts. Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Oh, there was a question from whom? Oh, okay. Was there a question online, Marisol?
Yes, Andrew Brown.
Okay. Go ahead, Andrew, you're online.
Hi, so a couple of questions regarding the community center would be regulations on the bathrooms. I noticed that it says men and women's and not boys and girls. So how is that going to be regulated if people tend to overflow, when the youth overflow into the library, and then you have a patron adult, you know, make their way out into the, so that's what I noticed. The water fountain's cooler out there. That's why I noticed. That's why I was out there. Thank God there's a camera there. Second, congrats on the city of getting that grant. Anyway, I noticed the youth play Xbox on the library PCs. So you could upload, you could go to your Xbox account and they play games. They're really slow, but you know, it's a library computer. So that's an idea for the youth. They probably are too scared or don't even know that's a possibility. To you know, any fun activities. You said gaming competition, that's what came to mind. 3D printing is also an idea, or as you guys said, just talk to the youth. That's all I have to contribute. Other than that, great thing to hear as a community member. So awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else, Marisol?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay. Mary, any comments via email?
There are no comments via.
Okay. Thank you. All right, well, we'll continue to move on with the agenda. Next on the agenda is comments from the public. Any member of the public may address the council for a period not to exceed 2 minutes on any subject not on the agenda. The council will listen to all communications, but will make no comments and take no action. The podium is open.
Henry Martinez Jr. I'm finally back in town. As soon as I get back in town, I get a nice little letter from the police department denying all accusations against the officers from the July 4th of 2025. How can you deny? If you haven't noticed already, I released the video, the full video. It's been circulating through the county, across the country, and many people have been commenting the actions of the officers. How rude are they? How dare they pull out guns at kids? And yet nobody's taking accountability. I was arrested for no apparent reason. The judge threw out the 3 charges that the police tried to put on me. And I have not been compensated for the bail that I spent to get out. I did write and file the proper paperwork. Hopefully that the city itself, not the police chief, will deny what happened. Usually the lawyer denies what happens, but this came straight from the police chief. How do we not know he's covering up for the officers? Naming there's what, 8 of them on there? Where's the proper process? Where's the justice? Where's all that? You claim to stand for the flag, but yet you let criminal actions get away. I guess, you guys must love it. They must continue to keep doing it. This has to stop. And like I said, I've personally been circulating that video everywhere, even to you guys' cultural health price place where you guys got that. It's like, you stand for this.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay.
Good evening. Henry Martinez, 112 10th Street. It must be the Gonzalez way, how the police operates in the north side of Gonzalez. Because the other night and the other nights before, I seen the drone flying at night. I found out the other day there was a raid on Center and 9th Street. They raided a small house smaller than this. It took 2 sergeants, 2 corporals, Perez, Ferrero, and 2 other officers, and 2 outside agencies at 7 in the morning. I think it was Monday or last week. They raided at 7 in the morning. They had all these officers out there, cars in the roads. When kids were walking to school, they couldn't choose a better time when kids are not walking to school, kids getting dressed next door. It could have been worse. They could have been opening a fire and kids walking by and kids next door. They done shooting already in the same corner several years back, and I never found out if they found a gun from that suspect. The other day, 6 officers were chasing Roman, looking for him all over town. 20 officers to our house, different agencies, twice. 6 hours to book a suspect, sitting in the car, waiting to have that suspect booked. That is payroll fraud. That is excessive waste of money. And you want us to vote for the fireman tax? You don't show us that you're willing to save money, but yet you want us to pass the fireman tax? Show us that you're going to budget him.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Roman Barba, 123 2nd Street. I live on 2nd Street, and I just found out by neighbors and stuff that they're going to be building 2 more houses behind another house on 130 2nd Street. So these 2 houses in the back, that house in the front already has 7 cars, no driveway. So our 2nd Street is flooded with cars. There's cars parked on Center Street and Belden Street that belong on 2nd Street because there ain't no parking. So now we got 2 more units that are going in there. And I believe there's no parking, right? That's going to be put there. So where are they going to park? And one thing that gets me is that the city didn't notify us that these 2 units were going to be built there. When you're going to put a project like that, they should have notified the residents and let us know, at least we can come out here and speak before that project gets put and the ground's getting break. The ground's getting broken into now. So they're making the garage into a unit and they're going to put another unit. And hopefully you put it 5 feet away from the fences and 5 feet away from the other homes, right? And hopefully you put some parking there. This is crazy. When you're going to put a unit in, you should ask those people that have that property at 130 to see how many cars they got before and decide and look at 2nd Street, how flooded it is with cars. It is flooded. There's catering trucks too around the corner. There was another catering truck. The city never tags these vehicles. 2nd Street And Thursday, even Renee, your ex-city manager lives next door to me, he can't even park at his house. You know, and the cars block our driveways sometimes. We have to call sometimes the police to park. Hey, there's no cars are parking in our driveways and blocking our driveways. They even do it to Renee's. He can't even park on his.
Thank you, Mr. Barba.
It's crazy.
No one else? Okay. See no one else jumping up, then I'll go ahead and ask Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Mary, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back for our next agenda items. And that's items 5 through 9 is the consent agenda. If you had an opportunity to review that, anyone on the diocese would like to pull an item, now is your time to do so. Seeing none of that, then I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve our consent agenda as presented.
I need a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the next item, Liz, would you be so kind as to read that for me?
Absolutely. Item number 10, consider approval of resolution number 2026-10, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gonzales authorizing amendment to the indenture in connection with Gonzales Public Financing Authority lease revenue bonds, Series 2024A, approving the execution and delivery of such amendment and authorizing the execution of necessary documents and certificates and related actions. Do I read the next one too, Mike?
Yes, please.
Okay. On number 2, resolution number FA 2026-01, a resolution of the Gonzales Public Financing Authority authorizing the amendment to the indenture in connection with the Gonzales Public Financing Authority lease revenue bonds, Series 2024A, approving the execution and delivery of such amendment and authorizing the execution of necessary documents and certificates and related actions. Staff report.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, council members. So the resolutions in front of you authorize the execution and delivery of the necessary documents required by the city and authority in connection with the amendment of the Gonzales Public Financing Authority lease revenue bonds, Series 2024A. These were issued on June 6, 2024 to provide the interim funding for Phase 1 of the Community Center Complex project. Such authorization will allow the city to proceed with extending the mandatory redemption date of the 2024 bonds from May 1st, 2026 to June 1st, 2027 in order to align with the revised timing of the closing of the United States Department of Agricultural loan or USDA loan. Among the conditions to be met prior to the closing of the USDA loan is the USDA's approval of each expenditure with respect to the project. The city has been working diligently to obtain USDA's approval for each expenditure, including contractor invoices with respect to the project. However, the USDA has indicated that it will not be able to approve all such expenditures by the date of May 1st. And consequently, we will not be able to close the USDA loan by the 1st of May 2026. The mandatory redemption date of the 2024 loans is that date. So accordingly, the city wishes to amend the indenture of the 2024 bonds to extend the mandatory redemption date applicable to the 2024 bonds from May 1st, 2026 to June 2027, and to extend the optional redemption date applicable to the 2024 bonds from November 1st, 2025 to November 1st, 2026. USDA is expected to have reviewed all the expenditures with respect to the project by June 1st, 2027, allowing us to close the loan then. In order to amend the mandatory redemption date and optional redemption date of the 2024 bonds, the city proposes to enter into the first amendment to the indenture of the 2024 bonds, whereby the mandatory redemption date and optional redemption date shall be amended to the date mentioned earlier. There will be some additional costs incurred on this. Most of the funds will come through the community center project budget, but there will be some others that we will have to incur. I'd like to allow Mike Rodriguez or Mike Howard to chime in on any of that. And then, of course, if you have any questions, we will gladly answer those as well. Some of the folks from the bond council are also online if you have additional questions that you'd like them to answer. Mike, anything to add?
Just on the cost associated, there may be questions regarding the cost. We will incur some costs by extending these bonds. So it's roughly going to be about $80,000 of financial services, bond counsel, and the selling of basically the movement from Hilltop Services of the new bonds. We do have to pay $845,000 because 15% of the current bondholders 10% could not extend, and the other 5% could not be located. So we have to pay those back. So we will be putting $845,000, which will ultimately reduce the new bond issuance by the $845,000. Additionally, we will incur roughly about $266,000 of interest that we will need to pay because we're also extending this extension to June of 27 will also extend when we start the USDA loan. So we have a period of time that we were not planning on paying for interest that we're going to be incurring some interest on these bonds until the loan actually gets put in place on June 1st of 27.
Anything else you would like to add, Michael Rodriguez? No, good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a real quick question.
Yes.
Quick question to you, Mike Howard. So since the bonds are going to be 10% less than what we initially thought they were going to be, does that change then the payout amount at the end?
It does. So the new bond will be currently it's $9.8 million. It will be reduced by the $845,000.
So right around 9 million
to pay off.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Right. Does anyone else have any questions for staff before we open it up for public comment? Seeing nothing? All right, then I'll go ahead and open up this item to the public. Any member of the public may address the council on the item just presented. Again, you're limited to 2 minutes.
Nobody's rushing.
Seeing nobody's rushing to the plate. Okay, awful. Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Mary, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay. Now I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back for additional council discussion or a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the council adopt resolution number 2026-10 and resolution number FA 2026-01 as presented.
And second.
I have a motion and I have a second from Mr. Funk.
Chair, I just want to note that the second resolution is actually being taken by the finance authority. Yes, is the board of finance.
Thank you, Michael. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All righty. Liz, would you read the next one, please?
This is our fiscal year 2024-25 audited financial statements and management report, staff report.
Assuming that's Mike.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. It's a privilege again to be before you to present the audited annual financial statements. This is for the fiscal year ending June of 2025. Annual audits are required by California law to be prepared and done by a independent certified public accounting firm. We have used the firm of Bryant Jolly out of Fresno for a number of years, and they are very familiar with our systems and what we do. There was no single audit necessary for this year because we did not meet the threshold of federal grant expenditures, which was a nice thing to not have to incur the cost of doing yet another audit. I am pleased to say that we have a clean audit once again. And it's an important statement. And so what I'd like to do is just read that statement to the council. And this is the auditor's findings. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, and each major fund and aggregate remaining fund information of the city as of June 30th, 2025, and the respective changes in financial position and, where applicable, cash flows thereof for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. So that's the cleanest opinion that we can get. Additionally, in the management letter, that is the opportunity where the auditors can bring up whether they had any disputes with management or if we had any internal control issues. And I'm pleased to say that we did not. I will tell you that this year's testing of internal controls was payroll all the way through pension reporting. And it was one of the most strenuous audits I have ever been through, and a mountain of paperwork that we had to provide to the auditors. It was actually more labor intensive than actually going through a PERS audit.
Wow.
So pleased to say that they found that everyone was paid in accordance with pay scales adopted by the council, and all PERS reporting was reported properly. I'd like to highlight some of the financial statements because it seems like for the last couple of years, I've come before you with not so good news. I'm coming before you tonight with better news.
Good.
Not great, but better. Okay. Our financial position improved within our general fund. If you'll recall, by the time we hit last year, we had an operating deficit of around 600. Well, we had an operating reserve of about $600,000 only, which translates into a deficit of $400,000 because of the council reserve of $1 million. During the fiscal year, council approved the sale of the cell tower leases, which yielded about $1.2 million, was key for the financing of the community center, because that was one of the commitments that we had made to the USDA, is that we would have adequate funds in order to reserve to make payments on this loan. The other thing that came as a great surprise to us, as we were just really struggling just to maintain our budget, was we benefited from a one-time sales tax deposit of an additional $400,000, just shy of $400,000. So with those two things, we actually restored the council reserve of $1 million. We have the $1.2 million from the sale of the cell towers reserved for debt service payments as required by the USDA. Once we get to June, then we'll actually be able to maybe free up some of those funds. And we ended the year with a positive operating fund balance with $119,000. So we just inched over the top, right? So this is a huge accomplishment, although, you know, it was a one-time sales tax deposit that we got. We'll take it, you know. We also did not have any catastrophes during the year. So that's why we were able to maintain where we were. Okay. As we go through page 59 in your packet, which is the proprietary funds, these are our enterprise funds. They are all operating within the limits what they are supposed to, and each has fairly healthy reserves. As we build the new industrial sewer plant, we're going to watch the sewer reserves be depleted by quite a bit, and so we'll need to be working those back up. As we go through, page 63 is the statement of our private purpose trust funds. This is our successor agency, where those funds don't belong to the city. We're just custodial, a custodian of those funds to pay our debt service. I will tell you the Department of Finance is reviewing our last and final ROPS currently. We expect to have a decision on that approval this month, hopefully. I do want to highlight one other page. It's page 109. And I know I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I would be remiss if I wasn't, this, you know, as your financial advisor. We do have one assessment district that is negative and is not, you know, and continued in this year, this fiscal year. It was the only one that spent beyond what the income was that it came in. It's made up of two assessment districts, the subdivision, the parks as a district has a negative fund balance of $315,000, and the street and lighting district has a positive fund balance of $145,000. So although we cannot combine the two because the funds are different, but in the presentation of the financial statements, they are combined. And that's why we have just a negative fund balance of $170,000. But at some point, we are going to need to rectify that because if the general fund had to actually kick in for that, you can see where there's actually not funding within the general fund to cover those expenditures. So at some point, that ship is going to need to be righted. Those are the highlights of the financial statements. This is a bittersweet presentation for me. I'm glad that it's more positive, but it will also be my final presentation of financial statements to this council. And with that, I will take any questions.
Yeah, congratulations on the clean finding.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
You mentioned that one of the assessment districts was negative in their parks. How did it get so negative?
Well, it's the one assessment district that does not have an escalator in it. So when that district was formed, the fees were set without an escalator. So the assessment has been the same assessment for many, many years, even though the cost of maintaining the district goes up every single year. So this is probably for another discussion, but
right.
The only way to write it is one, the homeowners will have to approve an increased assessment, or the city will have to scale back its services to only what is funded.
Thank you.
Yes.
To that same question, we did take a vote on that same situation a while back, correct, on that same. And if the homeowners choose not to increase the assessments, what do we do?
We did, to answer your question, we did definitely scale back the services there. So what we are doing now is really based on like need and emergency type situations when trees are literally, you know, hanging, and when it can poses a major liability for us is when we go in and deal with it. So we have scaled it back, but again, that doesn't answer the question of, again, the cost to still maintain, continue to increase. We did obviously go through the 218 process and that failed. And so, yes, you know, at some point down the line, we'll probably have to relook at that again. I think residents from that area that I've spoken to since they failed are more open to it. But we'll have to see when the time is right, because, you know, we've got other things coming in front of them as well. So.
That's a tough one, because it's not fair.
All right, if there's no more questions for staff, then I'll go ahead and open this up to the public for any public comment. Again, you have 2 minutes to make your comments known. Nobody in the chambers. Again, Marisol, any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Mary, any comments via
No
email?
comments via email.
Okay, thank you. Then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period. Bring it back for council action, and this is just to accept the annual report. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion to that effect?
Does it need a motion, Michael?
And
All right, then I make a motion that we accept the fiscal year 2024-2025 audited financial statement and management report as presented.
Second.
have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on, we have the GYC. I'm assuming we have some members.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orlando's here.
I would just like to note that there's a lot of information considering that February, March, and April are some of the busiest months for some of our high school students. I'm gonna start off with our GYC updates and oral communications. So on February 20, two of the members, myself and Ricardo, both attended the in-person meeting regarding the South County Youth Summit in Greenfield. In this meeting, we discussed key details, socialized with our fellow teammates from nearby youth councils, and orchestrated the different committees pertaining to the structure of the youth summit. We had a blast socializing with everybody, diligently working together, and overall making significant contributions and progress to the overall summit planning process. On February 26th, the Youth Council had their third meeting of the spring 2026 term. In this meeting, we discussed the community project, made connections with different organizations pertaining to agriculture and food, and are now progressing into the upcoming steps for our Community Garden Day. We wrote thank you letters to the public work individuals who constructed the food pantry and are gathering volunteers to illustrate and overall paint the food pantry. So we absolutely thank Public Works for their diligence and kindness. Additionally, we had the honor of meeting with County Supervisor Chris Lopez, learning more about his background, goals, and objectives in his position. This meeting was truly memorable and further ignited our mission to complete this community project with the utmost efficiency. On February 27th, we had our bi-weekly meeting with the South County Youth Summit coordinator and members. In this Zoom meeting, we were able to jot down key details and further information to overall prepare and construct this Beyond Youth Summit. On February 28th, a couple members of the Youth Council attended the grand opening of the community library, being shown around and looking at the newly established environment, and we absolutely loved looking at the new library. The Gonzales Youth Council Commissioners had the privilege of being interviewed by Madeline James Kashkuli, a UC Berkeley student, in regard to an article for the Berkeley Political Review pertaining to the Gonzales Youth Council. The commissioners answered simple questions in regard to our position, advice, goals, and self-reflection on our role in both the city and youth council. Moving on to future GYC-related dates, on March 6th, the Gonzales Youth Council will be hosting this upcoming bi-weekly meeting for the South County Youth Summit. In this meeting, we're just going to discuss further action items, updates, and primarily what is to be expected. The next GYC meeting will be held on March 12th, where we will make additional details regarding the community project, updates and suggestions for the South County Youth Summit, and continue to make progress in regard to our term's work. Moving on to Gonzales High School updates, which is a lot, so I'm gonna start. Gonzales High School will be hosting March Madness Week in celebration of the upcoming National Basketball Tournament, or the NCAA Tournament, where we will have school-wide basketball games ranging from different grades and staff members who are willing to volunteer. The Gonzales Agriculture Education has hosted their annual National FFA Week last week, highlighting and emphasizing the importance of the National FFA organization. This week consisted of unique activities from planting seeds, hosting an FFA chapter meeting filled with activities and food, to having our California State officers visiting our school for some fun, joyous times. We also had dress-up days, from dressing as a future career, Western, and in FFA attire. The Gonzales FFA program also hosted a community service project or event, collaborating with Jacob's Heart, a nonprofit community organization in support of children diagnosed with cancer or a chronic illness, where we designed grocery bags in support of these children. This week was memorable for everyone, from our annual fundraiser to the unique activities and dress-up days. AAOP, or the Early Academic Outreach Program, is having a variety of activities to celebrate March mental health awareness, from arts and crafts, presentations, affirmations, and random acts of kindness, enlightening the importance of kindness and mental health. Additionally, the EAOP is continuing to serve tutoring sessions for students who overall need support. Saturday Academy has officially begun for students who need additional assistance in their academic journey and who overall need to recover credits. The WASC organization is visiting Gonzales High School to conduct a survey and observations regarding the academic environment and curriculum from today all the way until Wednesday, to improve and validate the quality of student learning and ensure excellence is established and visible. This is all to report to the Gonzales Youth Council's oral communications, updates, future dates, and additional information regarding Gonzales High School. I would like to note that there have been a multitude of events going on in these past and upcoming months, seemingly just naming a few. So please stay tuned via social media and flyers in regard to the Gonzales Youth's work and events. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank
Any questions from our youth?
No, good one. Appreciate it.
Good job. All righty, moving back to council. Oral communications on committee reports. I start off with TAMC. TAMC, we had a very long and detailed update on safe routes to school. It was very well done by staff. Then there was the awards that were giving, annual awards that are given out for traffic improvements. One of the folks that received a individual award was a gentleman by the name of James Herrera, if I remember correctly, with the Monterey Herald. And to be honest with you, I was like, huh? Monterey Herald? I haven't seen a paper. Well, I haven't seen anything in a while, but certainly I didn't realize it was still being published. So apparently it is. And he was highly, staff really thought really well of all the comments he's been making on transportation issues on the peninsula and informing the public of all the good things that TAMC is doing. So he received an award. The Castroville Safe Routes to School Committee as a whole received an award, and there was quite a few members. I was quite impressed by the number of people that attended, and I believe over 70% of the folks that were part of that committee were non-English speaking. So the folks in Castro are definitely committed to safe routes for their children. And I obviously think that that's great that they're doing that, and I praise them for all their fine work and hope they continue to do that. The last award was given to the city of Salinas for their Barden Parkway improvements. Barden Parkway improvements. They showed the video and showed how it's basically improved the in and out, ingress, egress for the local school that's in Barden. Honestly, I wish I could see it, but they were just, staff was just praising on and on about all the great work that was done, but it was like a 4-year project to get to where they're at now. So kudos to Salinas and keeping their children safe. And that was about the extent of the meeting. There was some comments regarding the AI signal installation on Route 68. All the physical equipment is in place, but I believe they're beginning to do it now in March, and then they're gonna hopefully have some data June, July, as to see how it's working. I can't help but think that it is gonna be a pretty big improvement simply from at least the times that I used to travel on 68 and can actually see. There were lights that would change, obviously, in San Benancio, Corral Terra, et cetera. And there were many, many times that they would change and nobody's coming from San Benancio. No one's coming from Corral Terra. You know, and the flow of traffic, the majority of the flow of traffic is east to west or west to east, either way. But these side roads, yes, there is traffic at times, but for the most part, they're just not there. And so why stop the flow on 68? So I'm really praising and hoping that this does make a significant difference, because obviously, as you know, the alternative will be roundabouts, and that is a humongous price tag. More than I'll ever see in my lifetime for sure. So that's the extent of TAMC. Next up is the Mayor Select Committee. And Fortunately, we do not meet until this Friday, so I have nothing to report on that. Salinas Valley Recycles.
My report is short, sweet, and to the point. Our next meeting will be Thursday, March 19th, right here in these chambers. That's it.
Thank you. And then Measure K, is that,
Yeah, I mean, the only update is you approved the recommendations, so those that receive funding will be notified tomorrow, as of tomorrow, who got funding and to what extent, and they'll start their projects, and then shortly, Measure K will be coming together to meet, to start prepping for the next fiscal year's budget as well.
I will say they're excited, these grants.
And actually, we will be having, we have a youth vacancy, so hoping a young person will step up to that vacancy, but we will have another vacancy as well. So we'll be advertising for those 2 seats.
then oral communication, if there's nothing else, we'll go to oral communications. Ms. Orozco, would you be so kind as to start?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Mike for your many years of service to the city of Gonzales and your dedication and your reports always well informed, sometimes not so good reports and sometimes just really great reports and great hearing about our financial status. So I wish you the very best as you move on to your new position. So thank you again. Like to thank the staff for the great grand opening of the county library. It was a great event. Right after that, I went over to the Fairview basketball tournament on the same day. It was really nice just to be able to walk across the sidewalk there and get and make it to that event. The tournament this year was also sponsored by our Gonzales Rotary. So 2 great events in our city. So thank you. That's it.
Mr. Funk.
Yeah, likewise, Mike, thank you for your time, your expertise over the last several years, and good luck in your next adventure. So you're gonna have fun there. That's all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Sola.
Mike, thank you. Thank you for taking my calls. And when I have to ask some silly questions, sometimes, thank God you give me good answers, not just silly answers. I too want to wish you the best in your new chapter and come back and see us once in a while. The other things I have to report, last Wednesday, February 25th, I went to Sacramento. Assembly Speaker Rivas sponsored a bus for some of the local electeds in his District 29. And we were taken up there, and takes 3.5 hours to get up there in a bus. And then you get up there and you sit for 6 hours to listen to all the legislative updates. In the middle, you have lunch. But some of the updates were budget, which was very interesting. Housing, which was close to my heart, and that's about the only one I asked the person a question. We had about 15 or 20 from our area, so I wanted to make sure I asked the right person a question and not just ask somebody, everybody something. So obviously mine was with regards to housing and why does it take so long to get it through LAFCO? Transportation was a hot topic for a lot of people. And I think a lot of it is we live in an area that's not used to public transit as much as the bigger cities are. So the people in the bigger cities don't quite understand what we go through, and they think that everybody should have that vehicle tax or whatever. That's what they're aiming for, and I don't want that at all. So anyhow, a lot of good stuff. We were able to take a photo op with the Assembly Speaker in the House, and it was really special. A few people, I wanted to go up there and hit the gavel, but I wasn't as gutsy as other people. I wanted to. But it was a fun day. There was a lot of students on field trips. There was some youth up there. There was a young girl from our FFA chapter actually there the same day as I was. We were trying to connect, but she was speaking to Senator Laird while we were speaking to Assembly Speaker Rivas, so we couldn't, our times just didn't match. Very interesting. Hadn't been up to the Capitol probably in a good 10, 15 years. And one thing, it doesn't change much, but I always enjoy going. I always see something really, really nice up there. On Thursday, the 26th, I was excited to be part of the ribbon cutting for our electronic billboard. And as many of you know, I've been excited since day one when it got lit up, and it was really nice to see some of the partners there, some of the people that are advertising there, like Williams Valley Ford. What was the truck company? Golden State. Yeah, it was just great to see some of the partners there. In fact, Scott's mother was there too and had the dog, and I gave the dog a treat. So now I'm got a new best friend. Then on Saturday, the 28th, we did the ribbon cutting at our library. Finally, I think that's the only day in our life that we'll ever be able to make that much noise in the library without getting shushed. Really fun to see everybody taking advantage of everything from the 3D printing to the painting to the working with the sand and the water and getting free books and getting free things and asking a lot of questions. And I remember when they opened the library here at the shopping center many years ago, they showed us a picture of the original librarian from Monterey County. And they had actual postcards of her, and it's kind of like that brownish color finish. It's not black and white, it's kind of like brown and beige. But they had pictures of her. What, sepia? Yeah. So they had a couple of pictures of her, if anybody, of course, the little kids were like, they didn't know. But that's okay. They can learn in their history. And I did have an opportunity to speak. There was not a program planned, but Chris Lopez got up and said a few words. Maria was there, but she had just left, and they asked me to get up and speak on behalf of the city, which I did. And I told the kids, well, told everybody, but I was aiming towards the youth, that in my time, our library was one room, and it was the little room that's right on the backside of the city hall, right next, like across the hallway from the dentist's office. It was one room, and we had to go research things in these things called encyclopedias, these big, thick books. Oh yeah, we had the Dewey Decimal.
It was the old Google system.
Yeah, the original Google. And so I try to give them a little history lesson, that they're so fortunate to have computers at their fingertips that can give them all the information they need. But also there are books in there that they can actually go and turn pages, actual pages, and read books. So it was a very exciting day. Some of the children and some of the adults were getting their faces painted. I was not that gutsy, but anyhow, really great things are happening in Gonzales. And I really appreciate that some of our local neighbors, our close by neighbors here in the valley especially, they come and they support us. So my challenge to all of us is, if our cities to the south have anything going on, I think Greenfield has a mural that they're going to unveil next week. Let's support them like they support us. Also want to ask those that are responsible, please stop tagging and putting all the graffiti on places you shouldn't be putting. I don't know who they are. They're probably not on Zoom right now. But, you know, when we see something, please say something. A resident reached out to me yesterday. They saw some graffiti that had been put up over by the medical facility. It was around the enclosure for their garbage cans. So I went out this morning and took an actual picture myself, because I wanted to have it so that I could send. And I did send it to Molly at the hospital with a copy to the chief. It's got to stop. You know, we're better than that. I don't know who's doing it. I don't know if they're out of towners. Let's browbeat them if they are out of towners. And let's keep our town on the better side of that line. And also, one quick note, we do have an upcoming community garden day that I think the youth council is, and that's like for another month. It's March 28th. So mark your calendars, because you know the months go by real fast. From 11 to 2 at our community garden, which is located by the swimming pool. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Worthy.
Well, I too, unfortunately, was not able to attend our billboard ribbon cutting, but am so proud because I've had so many people come up to me and tell me how excited they are about it. It looks fantastic, and I'm very proud to say that it looks like we're on our way with that billboard. I kind of want to dovetail a little bit off of what Council Member Silva said about cleaning up our community. I know we've had a lot of rain. And so consequently, people haven't been able to get out there and deal with their yards and that sort of thing. But I'm starting to see pileups of cars on people's lawns again. I'm not sure how we address that issue. I am gonna say that when Mr. Barba came up and talked about the parking situation, I'm in total agreement with him. We have got to do something about that. I live on the other side, but we have just as much problems with the cars and the parking over there as we do all through the community. So we all need to work together to come up with a solution for this. And it's something that we've been talking about for a while. So I do want to address that and see if there's something that we can do about it. But to see all the great things that are going on in Gonzales, and I'm so proud of our youth council, they're doing such great things and they're informing us and letting us know what they're doing, which I think is fantastic. And unlike everybody else up here, I'm not happy about Mike Howard leaving. I wish that we could keep him because I have learned a great deal from you. I've been on the council for almost 8 years, and if you weren't here, I probably would be so lost on so many things. I just want you to know how much I appreciate everything that you've done and how you've guided me along on this journey, and I wish you nothing but the best. And you know that, but I'm still not happy about it. So thank you, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I too will echo the entire council. We're disappointed, but we totally understand. You know, Mike, you have a way of sugarcoating even the bad things so that it doesn't feel as bad, but you know, you have a certain talent. And I do appreciate your negotiating skills because I know you're the chief negotiator between the unions and you've done a fantastic job. And so definitely something that's going to be dearly missed that we no longer have that talent here in our community. But lucky for Soledad. Lucky Soledad. That's okay. You know what? They deserve somebody like you that is so talented and have a multitude of things that you are able to do and do it in such a gentle and easygoing manner. So kudos to Soledad. Yeah. All right. I'm hoping that, you know, you and I, or Carmen, you and I have spoken about it, but I'm hoping that, you know, we don't just talk about it, but we actually follow up. I had the farmer who's adjacent to the wastewater treatment plants. I says, "Oh, did you get a call?" Because I happened to be grabbing lunch there, and so was he. And I asked him, "So have you discussed these things with Carmen?" He goes, "Jose, I heard nothing." So if you've called him, I can tell you that when I call him on his cell phone, he always picks up. Sometimes you have to leave a message, but most of the time, if you call him early enough or late enough, he will pick up. So can we please follow up with him? I would hate to lose that opportunity that sooner or later, unless this city stops growing, we will need additional fields. Plus, I would like just the safety buffer that it will create for us to have adjacent fields, which will not, hopefully not be growing vegetables, so that in case of an emergency, it spills over into non-vegetable food products. So would you make that commitment to me that sometime this week you will call Mr. Emerald?
Yes, we've been talking, Octavio and I have been talking about what to do with the property, what the ask will be and how big and all the other steps we have to go through with the water board. So we will be reaching out to him. We're just kind of doing the homework on what we actually need and what we're going to ask for.
And that's what I told him. And he again reiterated, I'm very open, you know, finance, maybe property swaps. He says, let's talk. And I says, I will commit to you, Carlos, that I will bring that back up at the next council meeting. So please, let's see if we can't handle that. They said, you don't have to give him a specific idea, because I told him you guys were working on it, but at least say, Mr. Amar, we're still working on it. We don't have an exact amount, but bear with us, please. Lastly, I wanted to just comment on Mr. Barba's comments. You know, I had that conversation earlier in the day and he was, to say the least, quite a bit upset, and I understand his rationale, you know? When you have two homes across the street from you that have anywhere from 7 to 10 cars, parking becomes pretty tight. I get it. I get it. I did tell him, I says, well, did you see the apartments on South Alta? Why, there's, people love cars. For the most part, I think most people have at least two, and they're only a one-person household. But for whatever reason, everybody has at least two. The other part is that, and I did mention this to him, I says, instead of using the garage for garage purposes, I know a lot of folks in the community that the garage is the storage space. So how can you change that attitude? I don't know. And he's like, oh, I says, hey, you know what? Run for council. I'll support you. I'll give me your sign. I'll put it wherever I need to. But he was, like I said, a bit annoyed at me, but like I told him, I am 1 vote of 5, and what we're abiding by is state law. State law says that we have to approve ADUs, and they do not require parking. Call the governor. I mean, what else can I tell him? I know. I'm, like I said, I totally understood his frustration, but until the state changes their rulings on ADUs.
Yeah.
And Lorraine, think about this. There's not even ADUs in your neighborhood yet that I'm aware of.
Yes, yes.
Oh, there's one, okay. There,
Don't even use.
okay.
Been not happy about it for a long time.
All right. City manager's report.
Yeah, I just have, I think you guys covered most of it, and Councilmember Silva, you went down the list, so I won't even reiterate some of those. Thank you. I do just have an update. The car show that typically happens in April is actually going to be moved to July. Staff is working with the 2 car clubs from last time, and they're fully on board, but they are wanting to do something in July. So we're coordinating dates with them and making sure that it doesn't interfere with something else, since others have, a lot of activities in July as well. Wanted to also let you guys know that we will be, the City of Gonzales, in our brand new community center, we will be hosting the Coastal Commission. They will be coming to have their meeting here April 14th through the 17th at the community center. And it is the first time, my understanding, that they have a meeting inland. And so bringing them out to Gonzales is quite a treat. And April 14th through the 17th, they'll be here for about four days, 1 day of setup and 3 days to set up. That's next, right? We need a hotel to host them. So no, they'll be staying in Salinas, but they'll be coming out here and renting the space from us, and hopefully eating at some of the local food truck venderies and restaurants here. So that is great. So yes, thank you, Supervisor Lopez, for being an advocate and pushing them to come out to little old Gonzales. So it really is happening in Gonzales. I just wanted to bring this up. I've heard from a few folks about entertaining the term limits conversation. So I want to see if that's something that the full council is interested in, bringing that back and potentially doing a study session on, if that's something of interest to folks or not.
It is to me.
Yep.
3, what you folks?
I see the pros and cons of it. I see it
I do
work
too.
very well, and then be in deficit of cities too. So bring it back. It's districts provides a whole new opportunity.
Yep.
So.
And that is one of the things that we were considering, because districts can become challenging when it comes.
Exactly.
to-
That's the biggest thing with districts now. Yeah.
So, yes, so we can wait and see how districts go.
Well,
We can have a study session. I mean, that doesn't stop us.
That's- Okay, we'll do that. And we'll point out the pros and cons and then just have the consideration. Sounds good. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay. At this moment, I'd like to have you all indulge me in another moment of silence. Trust me when I tell you, this is something I really don't enjoy, but it is something that I think needs to be done to acknowledge those folks in our community that make a difference and have spent their in some cases, their entire life here. The first one being Mrs. Bassetti, Wilma Bassetti, and I apologize. I know you gave me her name and I don't want to mispronounce it. Liz, so would you please say the other person on our committee? I know her sons, the Ramirez's and Davilas, but
Yes, it would be Cecilia Davila Tejeda.
you see, and I wanted to say Sally, so I'm glad I asked you to do that. So if you would please indulge me with a moment of silence to acknowledge these folks in our community that have passed. Thank you all very much. And on that note, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody? Oh.